We are limitless. We fly in the sky without having our own wings. We go deep under the water without having our own limbs. We can do that because without any fins, if we can deep down there, then we can do anything in there. I mean, 5,000 years ago, who witnessed or who have even imagined that there will be a world of technology we're going to speak without having things? They were just thinking telepathy is the only way. But now we are actually doing it. No one knew how deep the earth has and what kind of minerals there and how the minerals can be utilized. Only if looking at petroleum, I mean, talking about Texas, petroleum is used in over 70% of medicine in the world. Just petroleum. What they're thinking about, this is the only like cars and fuels and everything, but it has been used in this. Imagine how far a human brain can go. And we haven't utilized the full potential yet. So my friends who's watching us, listening us, your potential is there. And, I say out loud this, if you are denying this, you are denying the world from a masterpiece of you. You are piece of the master, and you are masterpiece in yourself. And people are waiting to hear, listen, and observe, and really embrace you.
Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. What an amazing guest we have for you today. This past week, we just came out of our snowstorm. It was last week of adversity, and the snows melted. But I can tell you, last week it was chaotic. But that adversity either makes you or breaks you. And this week's guest, let me tell you, he's an amazing person. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about adversity, right? Welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. Rizwan, how you doing, Mr. Rashid? Good to have you, brother.
Thank you very much. And great to have a discussion again, and love to see the normalcy back in Texas and hearing that you are safe and sound and all the families in Texas are back to the normal life.
Yes, first of all, so I know who you are. You're an amazing, amazing businessman, coach, epic story. But tell the audience of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, who is Rizwan? Come on, let us know who you are.
Well, Daniel, I was a victim of mediocrity for years, lived in dreams for decades of others, and worked hard all my life to copy other successes or other success stories until the day I remember, June 23rd of 2008, started a quest of self-discovery. After a simple conversation with my wife, and, being an obedient husband, wives are everything. They control us, they help us, they move us forward, they inspire us, they motivate us. Ask me how she did it.
How did she do it?
Well, she's the boss. I was sitting right next to her in a kitchen. She was cutting with a big, long knife some tomatoes and cucumbers in our very lit kitchen, filled with the aroma of basmati rice as she was making biryani. The biryani, the Indian food. She asked me to cut open a bag of rice so we can have more rice in the pot. I took the knife from her and quickly, as an obedient husband, cut open this bag and gave to her while I turned around and I saw she was holding the kitchen scissor. Kind of angry, she said, "Why you use the one tool for everything?" I said, "What do you mean, honey?" She said, "To cut the bag, supposed to be the scissor." Well, and I looked back and I said, the same scissor I have used to cut ropes and wires, and you probably did that too. The same scissor I did sometime tighten the screws as well. And I was wondering, one man-made tool, knife, which was supposed to be cutting fruits and vegetables and the like in the kitchen, but I was able to cut the ropes, wires, tighten screws. But if I keep using that, what will happen to the knife, Daniel?
It goes dull.
It goes dull. It just loses the life or even sometimes breaks. That's exactly what I was doing to my life. I was doing everything around me, but not doing what was I was intended for. I was not aligned to my purpose. And that led me to live in the mediocre life. I was living in the mediocrity. And as soon as I tried to understand this concept, I was able to start the self-discovery process, which took me about 3 to 4 years in order to truly understand who I am, what is my purpose, and how to align myself. So I started self-discovery. And soon after, I was able to understand who I am. I met gurus, coaches and trainers, and did a lot of personality tests to actually understand. And I'm saying this very loud and clear, Daniel, because your show goes to millions of people, and there are 98% of the world population living in someone else's dream, and just like me.
Boom, baby. You know what? You just dropped some wisdom right there. I need to tell my audience, okay, guys, this is the part of the show where I tell you, get out your pen and paper. It's time to put the pen to paper and write this down, because I'll tell you what, Rizwan's going to drop some more wisdom. Look at what he's talking about. Write this down. He's saying so many times we do everything else that we're supposed to do around us, but that is not we just do things to stay busy. Look at the analogy he gave of the knife. The knife was meant to cut the cucumbers, cut the tomato, but he was using it to screw in a screw, cut a rope, everything aside from what it was meant to be. Ask yourself that question right now. Write this down. Get your pen and paper out. Where in my life am I doing everything that I'm not supposed to be doing just because I'm comfortable with it? And you're out of alignment, so it makes you mediocre. I love that story, the way you opened up with that. That's powerful. So keep dropping that wisdom, right? And let me ask you this. I bet when you were doing that, Rizwan, you were not happy in your life, were you?
No. I wasn't. And you know what, Daniel? I have an MBA in banking and finance, and I have another master's degree in information systems. I work as a financial advisor and wealth manager, portfolio manager, top level bank at even New York Stock Exchange, but I was not fulfilled. I always feel that there's a gap between my happiness and fulfillment. The money, the status never gave me that gratification which I was looking for or longing for. And as soon as I align, and I'm saying this from my bottom of my heart, that as soon as I align to what God has gifted me, I found that happiness, that gratification just chilled me there. I am able to work, and I did 20 hours a day work without having sweat, even thinking of sleep or tiredness, because I knew this was my calling. And when people start telling me crazy, even my wife telling me crazy, that you are leaving a 20 years of a job or financial field where you are really living and breathing, you understand, and everybody really respect your experience and expertise. Why are you doing that? I said, this is what I was looking for. This is what God has gifted me. And even if I'm not going to be successful, I'm going to die trying. And it's worth it.
Wow. Look at that. I want you to listen to what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying he was in his business, his position, top level executive, 20 plus years. He decided to walk away. And I can definitely relate with your story, Rizwan, because I remember I was in the automotive industry for 20 years, ran multi-million-dollar corporations. But I can tell you, just this past week, we had the snowstorm here in San Antonio in Texas. And it was a blessing because I got to spend time. My son came in from San Marcos because they didn't have electricity over there. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was working for somebody else. I wouldn't have had the freedom to just make my own schedule and rearrange things. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because until you walk in business and entrepreneurship for yourself, there's nothing like it. No one's saying that it's easy, but I can tell you just the rewards that you get from that. Man, so let me ask you this. If somebody out there is considering, right? They're aspiring. They're on the sidelines looking at the basketball court. They're on the sidelines looking at the football, the action. They're on the sidelines looking at Rizwan. And he went from top level executive into business for himself as an entrepreneur. Give us 3 steps to take to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you have to challenge your status quo, when you have to come out of your comfort zone, I found that even moving out of your own physical place will help you change your mental space too. And I'll share you mine. When I actually started one of the quests and found this is my calling, this is I wanted to move, I moved. I moved to, because my kids were young and I was able to, but I don't suggest it. But I really want you to invest what we call 90-day cleanse process. And I help people to find their true identity by understanding who they are, and that the answer will come within, come from you, come from your own subconscious mind, not conscious mind, because conscious mind is going to trick you in your developed expertise, acquired knowledge, the man-made understanding. But you need God's wisdom in order to connect with that. So in next 30 days, step into what we call connecting to your subconscious mind. Ask yourself who you are. What do you like? Write it down. What you aim for. And then out of your 30, 40, 50 list of things, what you like, you're going to really pinpoint that really call upon you. I'm talking about professionally. I'm talking about when you talk to the people, does it really draws you in? Does you really connect, or you want to shy away? If it draws you in, it means you wanted to talk about it. Then you wanted to talk about, for example, public speaking. I coach a number of people in terms of public speaking. If you wanted to talk about it, then you say, okay, what are the causes? What are the things that I really want to talk about? And if you say, I'm talking about social, justice, I want to talk about, the human health or development, or I'm going to talk about something in educational, then I'm looking for that topic. And within the topics, I wanted to reach out who they are and see who are the celebrities, who are the people who I'll be connected. So between 30 days, finding yourself, and about next 30 days, going up to 60 days, wanted to know, okay, who I could be, that, I wanted to be there, because your imagination is going to drive you. The law of imagination is going to attract all the positivity toward you. And I use this analogy all the time. When me and my wife used to walk into a mall, all I can see is men's suit, men's shoes, and books. And all my wife can see, her dresses, her shoes, and kids' clothes.
Yes.
Right? So when you put your mind in it, whatever you're thinking, God brings right in front of you. Why? Because God loves. We are the best creature on this earth, and God loves us the most. So they're going to bring everything in front of you. So imagine this, if you're going to concentrate on 30 days onto yourself, and next 60 days, up to 60 days is going to concentrate who you wanted to become. In 30 days onward, from 61 days to 90 days, everything will come right in front of you, how this will happen.
This is Daniel Gomez Inspires, and I want to personally invite you out to the Sticker Shock Speaking Academy here in San Antonio, Texas on Friday, September the 10th and Saturday, September the 11th. If you want to get paid to speak, if you're an aspiring speaker who wants to share your story, or if you want more paid speaking engagements, we're going to show you how to apply, where to apply, and we're going to give you a professional speaking reel as part of your platinum package. Call me at 210-663-5954. That's 210-663-5954. It's time to start living your dream and becoming that paid professional speaker. Our graduates have earned thousands and gotten paid to speak. Be one of them. We'll see you here on September 10th and 11th at the Sticker Shock Speaking Academy in San Antonio, Texas. Call me now at 210-663-5954 to reserve your seat now. I love that, right? And Rizwan, man, that's some wisdom right there. What Rizwan's telling you right now is the power of focus. What you focus, you attract upon yourself. What are you focusing on? Look at the analogy, man. I love these analogies you're giving, Rizwan, because he's saying when we go to the mall, me as a man, you're right. We focus on, man, I want to get a suit. I want to get some tennies. I want to get some shoes. I want to go out there and buy myself some nice clothes. And my wife is, I want to go to Victoria's Secrets and go to Bath and Body Works. So she attracts the different things to herself. And what we focus on, you need to write this down. What you focus on, you attract to yourself. It's powerful, but so many times, this is what happens, Rizwan. How many times do you see this? I had this conversation with my client. I was guilty of this too, not just my client, but we really focus on getting away from the distractions. So easily we're distracted in life, and we don't even realize that there's literally 10 to 30 distractions that want to pull at us every single day. And it keeps us from focusing on the things that we're supposed to focus on, like you're saying. The power of focus is going to take you further than you can ever go, because when you focus on something, you're going to attract the visions, you're going to attract the imagination to use for that. And you're going to, how can I say it? It's just, right, what you focus on, you attract to yourself. It's simple as that. That's the best way I could say it. So let me ask you this. When you're going on this transition, right, you're leaving your job, you're coming into your own business. Tell us what was one of the hardest things you had to overcome, and when did you lose your confidence, and what did you learn about yourself at that point?
Oh, I lost confidence so many times I can't even remember. I can't even count. I lost my confidence and ability, and I cried so many times. The moment when you are really scared, the moment when you're really, your back is against the wall, this is the moment you're looking for. This is the moment of make it or break it. And here's where the 2% population, 2% of the population of over 7 billion people. I mean, think of this, over 7 billion people, 2%. How many people they are?
That's what the B, right? You said billion, not million, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that way they know. Billion.
Billion, 7 billion people, over 7 billion people. A 2% population will means what, 140 million plus?
Yes.
Right? Can you not be the 140 million people category? Yes, you can be, because when we're back against the wall, typically we fight, not flight, because there is no other place to fly. There's no other places to run. We just fly. And this is the moment you're looking for. And I'm going to share with you another story. And remember I think it was July 1998. I was in a baggage station of JFK Airport. And I was sweating. It was very, very hot day. Just like you said in Texas, when it was cold, it was like totally different. For me, it was sweating and coming out of North America. That was my first day in New York. I was scared. I was really out of my comfort zone. I was among the people from all walks of life, and different people speaking Spanish, French, German, Mandarin, like you name it. And I don't understand any of that. And I was waiting at the baggage station to pick up my baggage and holding my daughter's hand. She was scared too. And as I look into her eyes, and I said, oh my God, she's scared. I'm scared. How are we going to live our life? While Daniel, coming out of JFK Airport for the first time, over the Queens Bridge, my wife tapped on my shoulder and pointed out the bright sun behind the Manhattan building. And she said, the golden words I can still remember, if the sun can rise here, you can do. And that was my weakest moment, that I was like, I left my country, I left my culture, I left my friends, family to start a new life, and I was scared. But
so let me hear you correctly. Are you saying you acted in spite of fear? You acted in spite of being scared?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I knew that once I actually learned, this is the only way we do that. My cousin, who is a chain smoker, a lot of people asked him, hey, can you leave smoking? This is dangerous. And he was not making it sense. Just a simple conversation, not happening. He did not. He was a smoker for 20 years until last July, he got a heart attack and he was hospitalized. Doctor told me, if you smoke, you can't live. And then he quit smoking. And this is exactly what, when we really on the behind the wall, then we act on it. This is what I did. This is how everyone can do it. So whenever the weakest moment, whenever those moments when I changed my careers, I cried and I asked for help and I reached out to the people. And what I'm saying, it's not easy, but it's worth it, because once you know you are on that track, you're going to find all those people. You're going to find all those coaches, trainers, mentors who's going to help you move forward. And nowadays, Daniel, is much easy. I'm looking back 20 years back. I couldn't find any coaches. I wasn't able to afford one. I wasn't able to connect with one. And now in the virtual world, I am coaching people from Australia, from South Africa, from India, from Pakistan, from UAE. People can reach out to me via Zoom, technology, phone, everything is possible. Yeah. And if you on a quest, or anybody who's listening, if you are on a quest of self-discovery, aligning with the God's purpose, what is in you, because DNA is a very unique in you, so are you.
I love that.
And so if you finding a difficulty in aligning, find a coach, find a mentor, find a trainer who is going to help you overcome that, and especially overcome them, holding you accountable and giving you strength to keep move forward when your weakest link is about to expire.
Let me ask you this, man. That's some wisdom, right? I love that. So boom, baby, you want to have your back against the wall, because when you have your back against the wall, there's no more going backwards. All you got to do is, hey, it's time to go forward, right? When you're regressing, you're dying. When you're regressing, you're losing. When you're regressing, you're on the defense. And just think about the Super Bowl that we had 2 years ago. You know, the New England Patriots were down, but you know what? They came back on the offense, and then they had the Atlanta Falcons on the defense, and they were backpedaling, and they lost the momentum they had. So when your back's against the wall, that's when you bounce back, you get more resilient, you get stronger, and you find out who you're made of. Man, I love that, brother. What did you find out about yourself in that moment? What did Rizwan find out about himself that moment when his back was against the wall? What came out that you were like, where did this come from?
Yeah, I found the strengths I never had before. I found my resilience I never had before. I found that courage to overcome obstacle I never had it before. And those are the moments that you truly believe who you are. Remember, as a man, we don't have fins, but we deep down under the waters. We don't have wings, but we fly in the sky, because we are limitless. We can do anything what we put our heart and mind.
Say that again. What are we? Say that again. I love that. Say it again. Somebody needs to hear that.
We are limitless. We fly in the sky without having our own wings. We go deep under the water without having our own limbs. We can do that because without any fins, if we can deep down there, then we can do anything in there. I mean, 5,000 years ago, who witnessed or who have even imagined that there will be a world of technology we're going to speak without having things? They were just thinking telepathy is the only way. But now we are actually doing it. No one knew how deep the earth has and what kind of minerals there and how the minerals can be utilized. Only if looking at petroleum, I mean, talking about Texas, petroleum is used in over 70% of medicine in the world. Just petroleum. With the thinking about this is the only like cars and fuels and everything, but it has been used in this. Imagine how far a human brain can go. And we haven't utilized the full potential yet. So my friends who's watching us, listening us, your potential is there. And, I say out loud this, if you are denying this, you are denying the world from a masterpiece of you. You are piece of the master, and you are masterpiece in yourself, and people are waiting to hear, listen, and observe, and really embrace you.
Let me ask you this. Let's do a shift here a little bit. What part has your faith played on your journey, right? On this whole journey of transitioning, what part has your faith played on your journey to becoming a successful business person?
Oh, I'm Muslim. I believe in God. I believe in spirituality. But for the longest time, I was believing in my own strength, my own knowledge, my own wisdom, and people around me. But that actually put me on the how part, how I'm going to do it, how this is going to happen, how this will, make this happen. But once I let go the power of how into the Almighty, everything started happening. So yes, in the beginning, I was like, kind of that personality that I got it. I have an MBA, I have an understanding, I have done this. And after years of working, I found I have nothing. And once I submit to that superpower, I found everything is possible. And that's what I'm talking right now with you, right here, right?
Yes.
It's become possible because I start believing in the God, the superpower.
You know what? It's amazing you say that, because I went through that myself on my journey of surrendering. It's dying to self. So many times we want to be so self-reliant. We want to be the ones in control. And the more and more we try to hold on and be in control, that's where that stress comes higher, the anxiety comes higher, and then that worry just overtakes you because you're trying to control every single shift, every single movement in your life and your business, and it doesn't work that way. So you're exactly right. I want to ask you this as we continue to move forward. What do you believe was one of the top reasons most entrepreneurs and businesses fail? What's one top reason that comes to your mind why entrepreneurs and businesses fail?
Well, to me, right now, the top priority or top thing, what I'm witnessing is people are stuck in their own zone. Whatever have worked 10 years, 15 years, 20 years back there, they still believe this is going to work. They're still holding on to this. And the pivoting in the new world, the new areas is so essential. And we have seen in the world of the new era or pandemic, we have to change. But look at the back, 10 years ago too. Even when people were not using internet, people were not using this, they were also become obsolete too. So I find that the pivotal thing is number one thing is how do you change, how to adopt to new things is entrepreneur nightmare. And number two, wherever they are, wherever their skill set is, they stop learning new things. Either is an entrepreneur, a physical product and services are, they think they know everything. They got their business in hand, they got the marketing skills, and I'm sure they are. But how they're going to next phase is going to amazing. I remember one of my mentor, he was a financial advisor at Wachovia Securities, and he was making $1 million. And I remember going to one of his celebration party where he said, I made $1 million this year. We had a great time. Next morning, I went there, brought in another flower bouquet. Thank you for inviting me. And I still want to learn from you. And I looked at his secretary. She was like, shredding some documents, some sheets and everything. And looked closely. It was his, the SOPs, like how they conduct the business, how they have interviews, how they have sheets and everything. I said, why are you doing it? She said, Joe asked me. I said, Joe, why are you doing it? He said, whatever made me possible to make $1 million, it won't let me make $2 million. So I have to shred all my old things and make a new one. That's another reason that entrepreneurs are not doing it. They're just stuck to this and not retraining, not relearning to get in bigger and better. Those are two things I kind of witness in entrepreneurial world on every single day.
I love that what you just said, because so many times we stop growing. We stop learning. I think just last year in 2020, when it happened, I was speaking all over the country, all over the world. And next thing you know, there's no more speaking live. And even though that was what I was great at, I had to put my voice on a podcast. God said, start a podcast. I'm like, I don't know nothing about a podcast. Like I had been practicing, but to do it as a career, to do it as part of your business is totally different. And we won Podcast of the Year last year. We would have never won it if I wouldn't have taken that step. Being scared, I did it. And then we opened up our Sticker Shock Speaking Academy, which has been an amazing just speaking academy. We have speakers. We're having one actually March 5th and 6th in San Antonio that's here. But I say that because you have to be adaptive. You have to be growing. You have to be pivoting, but you can't pivot with the old mindset. You have to, because this is what keeps most businesses from growing, right? They try to use the same strategies that worked 5 years ago and 10 years ago. And those strategies sometimes are out there. Think about that. Think if we're still using the same phones from 10 years ago, or we use the same phones from 20 years ago, they would laugh at us. So why do the same way the technology changes on our phones, that's the same way business is evolving every single day, and we don't see that, right? Wow, This is good stuff. Man, I'm loving this conversation, Rizwan. So let me ask you this. What makes you distinctive? What makes Rizwan unique? I want to know about that before we come to the end of our show today. What makes you distinctive and what makes you unique?
Well, right now, I really wanted to focus on that I help entrepreneurs escape mediocrity to achieve excellence. That's kind of my mantra. And how do I do this? And the last thing I wanted to add, that most of the entrepreneurs, seasoned or new one, not able to share their story. What is the story behind their passion turning into profession? And this is one of, to me, is the biggest awakening for last 3 years or so. I remember coaching one of my clients who's a mortgage agent, and that mortgage agent is really good at it, but wasn't able to scale as they were looking for. So I was like, okay, why you are in this industry? What led you? How you got into this mortgage and everything? And there was a story behind it. Daniel, if I may share that short story, that is going to connect the dots why entrepreneurs have to have a story. This gentleman was evicted when he was with his mom and dad living at the age of 8 on Christmas Eve from their home because of non-payment. Their home was bankrupted. Their mom and dad was bankrupted, and they were evicted at the age of 8. And at that moment, I asked him to go back to the mind of 8 years old boy and tell me how he was feeling. And he shared, at that age, I promised myself I'm going to make enough money that I would never will be evicted from my home or have to face any kind of consequences. And I did that. No matter what I did in order to make enough money. But once I was able to make enough money, my perspective changed. I am going to make enough money or make a feasible solution for the people around me so no one get evicted. So once we're able to find a story, I help him craft it and be able to present that story on a different level. So in a networking event, in an elevator pitch, I don't call it an elevator pitch, I call it micro spill, and because elevator pitch has been used so much and I have a bad rapport. So started from 30 second to 30 minute, we created and crafted a story and able to present it. So that was another big thing I've been known for, to find the story, craft it, and be able to present it. The last part was missing was a platform for story, just like Daniel Gomez show, which is going live on so many different countries all around the world. I started a platform with the help of Rogers Cable TV here in Canada, which is the Outlier Show, a show that features people, authors, entrepreneurs, coaches, trainers who are living on the outskirts of human potential, doing something amazing for themselves and amazing for a lot of people around them. So when I put his story on this show, that was, I think, second or third story. He was getting calls from all across the country because people were not looking for the rate up and down. People were not looking at features and benefit. People were connecting with the dots with the people that this is the guy who's going to be my financial advisor or mortgage agent because he knows what is the value of a home. And that kind of a story every entrepreneurs need to have. And now people know me about the entrepreneur story, and that's what the long answer, but
yes,
I get passionate about it.
Boom, baby. There you go. The power of your story. Everybody needs to tell your story. I always say, right? Somebody out there is drowning and your story is going to make a difference. Your story is going to help that person. So you definitely want to use your story to just help people get your message across. It definitely adds value, because when you lead with your story, you lead with your heart. And that's where the true connections are at. Man, wow, what an amazing time we had with you, Rizwan. Let me ask you this. If someone wants to get a hold of you, how do we get a hold of you, my friend? And just share that with us if you don't mind.
Absolutely. On the social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, Coach Rizwan, CoachRizwan. Coach Rizwan, you can find me, or you can always look at my website, rizwanrashid.com. You'll be able to know me.
Yes, man. And we're going to put those in the show notes. So don't worry about that, brother. But what an amazing episode. Just to recap, I want you to talk about what Coach Rizwan said here. You definitely want to use your story when you're out there. And the best time for you to win is when your back's against the wall. Right now, we came out of 2020. Your back's been against the wall. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Go out there. When your back's against the wall, like he said, there's only one way to go, and that's forward. Your life is meant to live going forward. You weren't created to be mediocre. You weren't created to be average. So go out there. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. If you need to hire a coach, get yourself a coach. Get yourself a mentor, because no one can do it alone, right? Alone, you can only go so far, but with a team, you go further. So this has been an amazing episode. Thank you so much again here for being with us. And audience, thank you for joining us today. If somebody share this episode, because this is a power episode. Somebody out there needs to hear this in business, and I want you to share this episode with them. If you found value in our episode, I would love you to go and join our community here on Facebook. It's called Shield of Faith Entrepreneurs. That's Shield of Faith Entrepreneurs, where we add value to entrepreneurs, inspirationally, motivation, and with business. Because remember this, no business survives without revenue. And if you need help, reach out to me, Daniel Gomez here. I want to help you. You can email me at daniel@danielgomezspeaker.com or info@danielgomezinspires.com. We'll definitely give you a complimentary strategy session. We want to help you. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week here on the Daniel Gomez Inspires Show. This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to danielgomezinspires.com and get your copy today. That's danielgomezinspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.